Inspiration is everywhere. When my client asked me to do these pieces over, specifically this piece, my thoughts immediately turned to a turquoisey, kind of rusty look. Someone had started to paint it green, and I think that's what put the idea in my head. And then I saw that beautiful sculpture that was on her shelf in her home. And then I knew what direction I wanted to go. This little piece is so cute. I love it. The drawers are not bad. They glide easily and they just need swept inside. They have a little felt lining, and someone did start to paint it green. A little bit of that overlay, that metal thing that's just the textured part, is peeling, so I'll have to glue that down. And then this shelf, all of them have like a little indent, but this one in particular has a big chip out of it, so I'm going to have to build that up. And also this one has a crack in it, so I'll have to glue that one. And I'm not sure what's going on down there. I think it's just paint or something. And this one seems the sturdy, really sturdiest of all of them. So I'm starting with it to give it a good cleaning. I'm just using vinegar water, and my sprayer is really acting weird, so I'm turning it upside down and it's dropping water everywhere. So as long as we get it clean, that's all that matters. I have it on its back on my Black & Decker workbench that's portable. I love that thing. And I am going to use Silk Tide Pool, and I'm also using Silk Oasis. This jar is a little bit thickened up. It's getting kind of old, but that's okay. We're going to make it work. And I'm just going to kind of pounce into the corners and cover the entire piece completely with the Tide Pool color. Having this piece on its back is a way easier way to paint this piece than it would be if it were standing up. Working a section at a time while the paint's still wet, I then dip another brush into that Oasis color and I just randomly dab it around. Then I take this big round brush, this is called the Best Dang brush from Dixie Belle, and I just kind of blend them together by just kind of pouncing it a little bit. I just caution you, if you're using a round brush like this, you just want to make sure that you're not getting circles or dots. You just want to make sure you're actually blending. So I continue, and it's just as easy to paint the side of the furniture. I paint the entire piece while it's on its back because I'm not painting the back of it. After that's done, I move on to that little table because the glue is dry. It's also much easier for me to paint this table upside down. And I do use a stool when I paint. As I'm painting this table, I'm also falling deeply in love with it. I just love it. It's so sweet. Especially in this color. It's just adorable. Love it. Thinking that everything's dry on the shelf, I go to paint it, but my mud is not dry, so I'm going to revisit that a little bit later and let it finish drying. So it's time for a little design consultation. So I am a Made by Marley brand ambassador for the decoupage paper, but Made by Marley also has stencils, and more recently, a brand new adventure is stamps. So I had to purchase some, and we're going to do a little work on these two pieces. We're going to be doing some layering. We're going to do some stenciling, and then we're also going to be doing some stamping. And I used this technique on a piece that I did a while back. I'm not sure if I have a video on it or not, but I'll look and I will link it if I do. If not, I'll put a picture in so you can see. I'm loving the designs on both of these, the stencils and also of the stamps. And I'm excited to use them, and I think they'll go just great with this design and coordinate these pieces beautifully. With the smaller cabinet now painted, I am going to get to work on doing some rust patina. On this piece, since it's embossed, I'm not going to do any extra stenciling or stamping. But I get to work with this copper patina paint from Dixie Belle. This is a two-part process. You can use this paint all by itself if you want. Please shake, shake, shake it, because it really has metal particles in the bottom that need to be distributed. I'm just taking a little throwaway brush and just dabbing around where I think rust might accumulate. Even though rust doesn't really grow on wood, there is a metal overlay on here, so we're going to go with that. But it's just to add some interest to this piece. While my paint is wet, I'm going to use the second part, which is the patina spray, and this is green. You want to shake that too. There's different formulas. There's iron, copper, and bronze, and then there's green, blue, and yellow spray. So you can mix and match and get the look you want. But I'm using this green and just spraying over my wet paint. And things are going great until I'm glad I put this down. You guessed it, I knocked over that whole jar of paint. That put me into speed mode. When deciding what to do, I decided that I wasn't going to clean it up. I was just going to paint from that pile. So I put the lid on the rest of the jar and started dipping into my pile of paint. And I knew it would dry up pretty quickly, so that put me into the mode that I had to finish this rather quickly and get onto those other two pieces, because I was going to make this paint last. I still had some in the jar, but you know. Oh well, you know what they say, don't cry over spilt milk. I think the same thing applies to paint. Just, I'm thankful I had that drop cloth down because that would have been worse a mess. And I just painted from my pile. So hopefully that works for you if you ever spill paint. So I start to use the stencil. I'm using the same brush I used earlier when I pounced that color on. And thankfully I had that ready and quick. So I made some quick decisions on which stencils I was going to use and where I was going to place them. I'm going super lightly with this because this is exactly what I wanted to see. So I go over the whole piece and put stencils where I want them. I'm just using the floral piece of that. Then I get my stamps out and I rough up the new stamps just to give them some tooth. And then I take it over to my pile of paint. I'm using a brayer and a roller, well, a brayer, and I'm just applying the paint with it. Now remember, this is our rust patina paint, so we're going to get this is the copper, we're going to get a copper look, and then we're going to spray the rust activator on it in the blue. I don't have time to be super decisive, but I do need to be careful about my placement because I don't have time to mess this up either. So I'm just placing the stamp on, and then I am pressing with my hands, and I'm going down in between that row of stenciling. And then I'm spraying as I go. It drips a little, which is fine, and then I just kind of wipe that up and I throw that shelf on the ground because I want to do a little bit more on that. And then I'm also going to get at the stenciling on this small piece. Originally, I was going to just use this half a mandala on the side, just one in the middle, and then I ended up putting 3 on each side. I love the lacy look that this gives it. It's so delicate. I'm just using this stencil so haphazardly, and I'm getting exactly the look that I imagined. Very ethereal and very dreamy, and we're going to give it some age with that rust. I continue to use the stamp in the little tile pattern across the back and also on the shelves underneath the medallion design. And I also use the brush to apply random rust on the other pieces as well. Here's how it's looking. You can see the patina activating already. It's getting that really cool turquoisey color to it with still some of the copper bits showing. I'm loving it, and I'm gonna let these pieces dry and then come back in for the next layer. This was the last piece that I did, so you can see the copper is a lot darker. And then this was the second piece I did. So it's kind of progressing a little bit. And obviously the little table has more patina on it. I also love the sides of these. I come back to work on the pieces the next day and check the progress of the patina and see how it's doing. And I really like it. It really went to that turquoisey color. So I'm going to seal in all that goodness with some satin clear coat. It's just a clear satin finish, as the name implies. It will also provide a base for me for the next step. Next up is a glaze. I'm using Dixie Belle's Copper Bronze Glaze. And I'm just using an artist brush, and I'm just going back in where the patina was, and in some places even where it wasn't. And just doing such an ever so lightly treatment. This is just that little chef's kiss that kind of just gives that extra little shimmer when you look at it, and it reminds you that that was copper that rusted. Not done yet, there's still one last step. I'm using Dixie Belle's Brown Wax, and because I used that satin clear coat earlier, I can be pretty generous with the wax, and I'll use a paper towel to distribute it. This step is the final touch, and it's just going to give us that aged look that these pieces have been around forever. Going mainly into the crevices, into the corners, and around the edges, and then coming back and just kind of randomly hitting a few spots as well. Now it's time to take a look back to where we started and our inspiration. Let me know what you think in the comments. Did I nail it? As long as my client thinks so, and I sent her some pictures, and she's pretty pleased. Thanks so much for watching today. If you like this content, I hope you'll subscribe to my channel. Hit the like button and share it with your friends. I'd also love it if you subscribe to my sister channel, Tuesday Talk. I go live every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. I do thrift flips and smalls on that channel and repurpose lots of little things. Find Statement Designs on the web at www.statementdesigns.org and on social media as Statement Designs. Stay well.